I'm behind enemy lines today, so I gotta keep my head on a swivel a little bit. Watch out. I'm Brian. It's Tuesday, June 17th. It's day 290 of running 5K and doing 200 push-ups every day.
Okay, so what do I mean by behind enemy lines? Well, this morning I found myself probably less than a mile away from where Karen and I used to work and just a few short miles away from where I used to live, running on some of the very streets driven by people I'd be all too happy to never see again. Hence why I spent the majority of my run checking my 6. Now, how I ended up in this situation is kind of a long story, which involves Karen having a dentist appointment over this way and me wanting a little bit of a change of scenery for my run this morning. Alright, I guess it's not actually that long of a story, but you get my point. And I think everyone's found themselves in this kind of a predicament at one point or another, where you're heading to a place or into a situation in which there's a reasonable chance that you run into somebody you really don't want to talk to. If it's anything like me this morning, you have a pretty good idea of who exactly you might run into. And then you start playing out the scenarios in your head of how you might handle a particular run-in, how nice or passive-aggressive or just straight-up aggressive you might be depending on the person. Of course, then as it turns out, the only person you actually run into is your lovely blonde life partner, which on the one hand is a relief because any kind of conflict before you've had caffeine is not really a great thing. But there's also a bit of disappointment because some small part of you did want a little conflict this morning. Everyone's been in that scenario, right? No? Just me? Alright, cool. I'll see you tomorrow.